Hello, and welcome to and Rails 1000th New Social Environment. I'm Chloe Sagaman, Director of Programs here at The Rail, and I have the joy of being your MC today for a conversation featuring artist Daniel Guzmán and curator and historian José Falconi. Before I introduce Daniel and Jose, on this momentous occasion for the program, I would like to thank the team at The Rail, especially Fong Bui, Eleanor Krishmar, Carolyn Ferrucci, Anselm Berrigan, and The Rail's extraordinary team of editors who pitch amazing ideas to this program each month. And of course, all of our guests, the artists, poets, filmmakers, activists, curators, historians who share their work with us every day. And a special shout out to Nick Bennett as well. Together, your continued ongoing efforts have culminated in 1,000 episodes of this program and have made the program what it is. And I thank you tremendously for that. And now I will very, very happily introduce today's guest and host. Daniel Guzmán is a voracious reader with an incurable love for music who digests, absorbs, and recombines musical and literary references. Residues from the artist's daily life in Mexico City and more recently in Guadalajara, such as comics, cartoons, song lyrics, pre-Hispanic iconography, and press clippings, are part of his vocabulary. Ink, pencil, acrylic, and pastel are used to create images that appear in constant transformation, sometimes interlaced with texts in a complex weave of connections. His sculptures, videos, and installations suggest a personal and intimate territory that emerges from closely examining the culture and urban landscapes that surround him. With a strategic and contagious sense of humor, he reflects upon his experience of the world. And our host today, Assistant Professor of Art and Human Rights at the University of Connecticut, José Falconi, received his PhD from Harvard University in 2010. From 2001 to 2011, he was Art Forum Curator at the David Rockefeller for Latin American Studies at Harvard University, curating more than 30 shows of cutting-edge Latino and Latin American artists in an academic setting. In the United States, he has been appointed lecturer in the Department of Art History and Architecture at Brandeis University, Boston University in the spring of 2016, and in the School of the Arts at the University of Connecticut in the spring of 2021. And with that, I'm going to pass it over to Jose to get
it. Thank you, Chloe. And you guys hear me well? Excellent. Thank you so much. Well, delighted to be here and delighted to be here with my friend Daniel. When Chloe proposed this, I couldn't say no. This is an incredible occasion to talk with one of the greatest artists working right now in Mexico. And I mean, again, thank you so much for the invitation to everyone at the Rail, to Kurimansut, of course, a gallery that, I not only, I'm friends with, but I admire deeply. And to be here with all of you, but let's start, querido Daniel. We'll do this in English. And let's start with, we're going to be talking a little bit about your show that is now happening in New York, and let me ask you first, the intriguing title is called The Man Who Should Be Dead, but Rose to Another Life. I mean, the man who should be dead. Again, I mean, that is basically the title of the show, who is the man who should be dead?
Hi, hello.
Are you the man who should be dead? And
Jose.
why?
Jose, thank you for, first I want to say thank you for the team of the Brooklyn Rail and the Chloe and the other team, and for you too for this conversation. And yes, I am part of the different stories of the man who should be dead. I am part of that history. That history began in the 2017 when I started the drawing series.
Wonderful, but tell me a little bit about what is behind that title. Maybe is this some sort of ontological question? What kind of thing are we talking about here? I mean, I guess that it also has some resonance with probably, I mean, I guess, the pandemic, I mean, to some degree, I mean, we might have all have been dead, but I mean,
Yes.
we have to throw that there, What are we talking here? Also, it might mean that, it is some sort of way of also do an ajuste de cuentas, basically
Yes. Mhm.
tally out your things because you were moving to another city, to Guadalajara,
Mhm.
So maybe you want to explain a little bit about what kind of men, what are we talking here? What are we
Yes.
entering what kind of universe are we entering when we enter the show?
Yes, I mean, I mean it ontologically in the way the modern and the contemporary capitalism use the word man, in big words, man, equal to white and man and Anglo-Saxon. But also, I found this title of the series of drawings because one friend of mine told me the history about one man who in his town say all the time say to him he has a writer, he's a writer, and he have this a project to write a novel or a story about the man who should be dead. And when my friend say me the title or the title of the phrase of this probably title for a novel, I retake it because I think it's a wonderful title. Many of my work working with the literature and the books and this kind of issues, and I found this title like an incorrect moment for my work and for my life to start new process in my draw.
Wonderful. Maybe we can, you can move it a little bit faster, Chloe, so we can see some of the work that is actually now displayed in New York. There's the show that the man who should be dead, notes on the dead house, the fire and tale. Because one of the things that I wanted to ask you, Daniel, is, I mean, when you entered that show, you enter that space, you enter into some sort of very, very particular and unique mythical space almost. So, and again, you are moving, I mean, not because not because you're an avid reader, you're moving to Guadalajara, the land um of Rulfo to some degree, who wrote about the dead and the living, or the living dead, put it that way. Juan Rulfo, as wrote an incredible, for everyone, wrote an incredible novel called Pedro Páramo,
Pedro Páramo.
which is an incredible tale of dead, of the dead. But I wanted to ask you, I mean, maybe we can talk a little bit about this. I think that somehow your work always has this very unique take. I mean, there are these interesting characters, very strange, mythological to some degree, which makes it beg the question about what is the level of fiction that we need to leave or deal with reality to some degree. I mean, there is something about there is always some sort of level of fiction that you're always pointing out. There is a layer there. There is something, as I said, that reminds me of Rulfo, but there is something uniquely disquieting about that that take that you always have, and you always leave us with that conversation.
Yes, I believe that all we use these guys or maths in real life, and we did small of this fiction or to confront the reality. And for me, this series of drawings give me the opportunity to play with the fiction and the reality. And I love the Juan Rulfo's the novel Pedro Páramo. But when I started this drawing series, I don't have in mind his work, this novel. Instead, the work of the Jorge Luis Borges and the Philip K. Dick and Ricardo Piglia, have been very important for the series. And well, right now I live in Guadalajara, and I think this like the novel of Pedro Páramo is talking about the son to go to this town, like to found his father.
Comala, yeah.
In Comala, yes. But in reality, he never knows he's dead. The character, the principal character of the novel, the son, and the Pedro Páramo, all the town, all the people is dead, and you never know until the end of the novel, when the final pages of the novel, you understand all the narrative, and for me that's amazing. That this novel is very contemporary, no? Because for me, this work is put me in contact with ghosts, with phantoms, and that kind of entities. You don't see it, but you can also the opportunity to talk in novels, on records, or whatever you like it, no? I think this one of the main reasons for the series of drawings.
Yeah, let's enter to that, let's enter into what are you showing here. Tell us a little bit more about the exhibition itself, how it was conceived, how it was planned, and what were you trying to do in the space, from your own words, not just trying to make an interpretation. So let's start with that, and then I will ask you a couple of questions about formal stuff.
Yes, every time I show this series of new drawings, I played with this idea of the inner narrative in this complete concept of the man who should be dead. I want play with inner narratives, difference in different moments when I show this work. And for me, in this moment, the series of drawings, for the narrative of the new drawings in New York, I talk of a prequel idea. As of now, it's in the movies of the sagas like Star Wars. You need to be.
I have the perfect background.
Yes, I know. I know. I grew up in the 70s, and one of the movies when I saw when I was a child was Star Wars with my father in a old cinema in Mexico City. And also I see a lot of movies, and I grew up with this movie love for movies like Alien, like Star Wars, or like Planet of Apes. And for this series of drawing, this it shows in New York. For me, to the beginning of the world history of the drawing series, and the beginning of this array of the Spanish people, and Hernán Cortés army and the Christianity religion in Mexico. This is the beginning of this narrative in the New York space. And I say that in the way you need to be is no historical revision. It's no it's more personal. It's free in the narrative. I try to discover this connection with the past and the present. And that's for me. This is a prequel in the show in New York.
That's wonderful. Let me ask you a little bit about the way that you have conceived the show, because first of all, the drawings for us are very, very unique because they have, for someone who knows a little bit about your work, you have expanded the color palette to some degree, because you used to be much more monochrome, the kind of work that you're doing, So maybe let's ask you about first, why the departure in that, and what can you say? Is color achieving in this case? What are you? Why color? Why now?
Well, I use the color like as a personal challenge, no? The color give me the opportunity to test my skills and weakness in drawing. And I have always liked artists, painters, Cézanne, Matisse, Max Beckmann, and other artists from from Germans like Otto Dix or George Gross, for example, and also contemporary artists like Jean Shaw, Mike Kelly, Sigmar Polke. Well, that's the reason I use the color like a personal challenge, no, to prove something in my work.
That's wonderful, wonderful. And let me ask you then also what about the spatial choreography of the show? Because it is not only some sort of painting. I mean, drawings and paintings, but also there is a special choreography. There is some sort of push towards the spatial, towards architecture. We're moving towards it. There is some sort of like, I want to call it expanded drawing, but it's moving into some sort of a sculpture to some degree. So maybe we can see how you've I mean, there we go. Perfect. Thank you, Chloe.
Yes.
How that is working, why those installations there, and what exactly are they doing? I mean, or are you trying to do with that?
See, I have used other visual medias, such as video, installations, and sculpture. And the new pieces, the painted and drawing wood structures are for me a kind of scenography, to base to combine this other media with drawings. It's only the beginning for me, this new experience. I see these structures more like a displays or billboards more than a big paintings. No, I need this construction out of this two-dimensional drawing, small drawing, and I need put out of this and put in the middle of the space of the gallery or the museum, and try to have a new opportunity to work with these displays, with this scenography. It's only the beginning of something. I don't know where is this adventure take me, but I thought is, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah. Yes, sorry.
You were upside down, like, fine. Happens. I'm always upside down,
Yes, sorry. I say it's for me it's a new adventure. I made this thinking in the possibilities of the future to use these kind of structures in a new relation with my draw series of The Man Who Should Be Dead.
Very good, excellent. But maybe also you can also refer a little bit, maybe if we can go back to the work that you did before, because the spatial quality of your work these days has already been, having some sort of, you have already started working with some sort of very particular scenography or very particular, as I say, like, a spatial choreography of your work since since the show that you did in Siembra, since the show that you did at Cabañas. Maybe we can go slowly and talk a little bit about previous shows that basically lead to this one, in which you have in which you already display that the very notion of the display already contains some sort of particular meaning that you're trying to achieve. Maybe we can go back to Siembra, for example, to see it briefly, and then also the Cabañas one, and then in order to understand what you were trying to do in the one in New York.
Yes, it's the Siembra project was sorry, because
You're fine.
I use my cell phone with for a conference, and I have problems with the connection. Sorry. Okay. I say you the Siembra project was the first approach to display a narrative in the space of gallery. Not only take the drawings in a formal or traditional way in a frame, putting on the wall only. I think the idea to the space have a narrative, the four walls of the space. I display a line, three different lines colors with the idea of the flag of the Italy, because I I take a source of inspiration of the work and personality of the Pier Paolo Pasolini for this narrative in this show. Pier Paolo Pasolini was a writer and poet and filmmaker. I take the personality and inspiration in the work of Pasolini. And well, I show this, I put all these drawings on the wall, and I take phrases from the work of Pasolini, and also I make a drawings of Pasolini. And well, I try to display a different narrative in the space of the gallery. That's the idea. And what's the beginning of something new for me in the
because I mean in that moment now you are like already sort of staging a film. You know, there is a way of reading the images to some degree, and you know the green, white and red not only is the Italian flag but also the Mexican flag. You know, as you probably know. But I mean, so what was that? What was that? I mean, what it meant to actually be, you know, moving around the space with a, you know, what did you achieve by that choreography? You know, do you hear me?
Yes, I achieved this narrative because I don't want stay only in the traditional ways you use the drawings. I love going to space because I work in a different medias, also video installation.
I see a video there at the end.
Yes, a video, and so yes, I made a video in the show was a video, and it's important for me to mix these different mediums and try to work with that opportunity to make a different narrative, and that's the reason.
And what about the Cabañas show? Yes, thank you so much, Chloe. So this what we are looking now is the one that happened at Museo Cabañas in Guadalajara. You know, what is the display, the spatial display here that we are and that we are seeing, and what it was trying to achieve there?
Well, the Cabañas show was the first opportunity to show a different moments of the series of the drawings, the Man Who Should Be Dead. And I told you in another meeting, I make three different sections of the show. The first sala or hall of the exhibition was a kind of retrospective of my personal drawing issues, no, from the 90s. I retake. I have drawings from different collections in Guadalajara, and I put with my personal archive, and to try to give the people the opportunity to show my background. The man who should be dead have a past, have a background, and you know, it's important for me the people see this the past to go directly into the present of the new series of drawings, no. And in the third hall was the new work, the series of the Man Who Should Be Dead, and many of the drawings, the look of the new drawings you can see in the showing Curimansuto in New York and in the Mexico City have this look of the like small paintings, no, you know, squares, very regular size, and you have this look. Is the more is the last part of the series of the drawings. And in the middle of the hall of this exhibition in the museum, I make a installation with wood and panels of MDF painting, and because I want work in different label with this three-dimensional drawing in the middle of the hall of the sala, no. And for me, it's a projection of the small drawings. It's put out this geometry, this color, and all these drawings, all these the symbols, and make a different well, different work. It's like an installation, more like installation or something, no? The drawings in a 3-dimensional.
Very good. And tell us a little bit about that. I mean, what is that? You have a news there, you know, what is going on there, you know, in at the very center of the show, the Cabañas, you know, I mean, why it ends with a news and
Yes, the title of the Cabañas is very important. It's The Man Who Should Be Dead and the Future Battle. I retake the title from an interview from a writer, a Chilean writer, Roberto Bolaño. Now he's dead. He's very famous. He's one of the. He's from Chile. He's from Chile, and he lives in Mexico when he was younger, and go to Europe, and he made his career in Europe. And I take this. All the time I show the series of the Man Who Should Be Dead have a subtitle, you know, the future battle is this one, and the Ciudad de Mexico was another, and now in New York is the notes of the dead house and the fire and tail, no. For me, it's important this subtitle because it's the way I make the construction of the narrative inside of the museum or inside the gallery. For me, it's the second part of the process to show the work, the drawings, the series of drawings. Work with this new narrative inside of the space.
Wonderful.
This is very important.
Excellent. Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to show a little bit about what happened with Siembra, what happened in the Cabañas Museum, in order to be able to understand what you are trying to do, especially here, and understand that there is a particular choreography to the show. But now let's go back. Let's go to the drawings themselves, the paintings themselves. You know, I would love to hear you. I mean, because they are so arresting and so. I mean, how can we say, like, you know, they're like, I mean, characters that, I mean, are hardly and able to be understood, you know, I mean, and they defy, you know, easy interpretation. So maybe now that you are here, you can tell us a little bit about some of them. I don't know. There is a one about, like, you know, there is a oh, maybe that one, actually, the one in front of us, you know, that it's actually quite curious. There is a little face in the middle, you know, that is, and again, you know, what is going on? I mean, now that you are here, maybe you can tell us a little bit about this. Yeah.
This structure was the first I made for the show in Curimansut in Mexico. Was the first I made in that time, and I think in the relation with the scale, I need a big scale, not for the importance of the scale. It's important for the scenography, no, you know, to try to put out this geometry, this characters, these symbols of the small drawings in a 3-dimensional project in space, no? And was the first, and it's very important in the series of the new drawings. This helmet, no, you know, appear in different moments in the series of drawings. And I first drawing like the helmet of the Spanish army, no, you know, that the conquerors, and changed to the helmet of Darth Vader.
Exactly. Yeah.
For me, it's the Darth Vader helmet. It's like a representation of the symbol of the Father, you know. And this is open the discussion, and this open the narrative for many issues or whatever. But that's important. And also, is a woman on the panel. It's like a goddess, Aztec goddess. You know, it's a symbol of.
I was going to say, I mean, somehow the spatial disposition of it looks like almost like, I mean, reminds me of some sort of codices sometimes. And it has this, like, you know, broken way of, like, you know, of being open, you know, and and showing inconnect things that are like connected to some degree, you know, unconnected things that are somehow connected. I don't know if, yeah, but you know, these are, and what about the front and the back? What about the front and the back
I using
of
the
each of these stages, of each of these structures?
yes, I use in the way this the color size is the present, no, in the present, and this the back of the structure is the past. I hanging on this part of the structure all the different moments of the series. I choose a different drawings of the series and I put in the inside of this structure, no, to have a concrete time, two different times in front, the present, and the back, the past, no. And I try to be a conversation in the past and the present, and in the middle is like something like I say like a door. When you go to the past, you open a door, and you never know what's happened when you go to the past, to the mind, to your own mind or personal past. You know.
This reminds me of like, you know, that you're always working on prequels, you know. I mean, everything is a prequel. I mean, everything is a prequel of the present, you know. I mean, and of course, you know, to some degree. But maybe we can talk about now the particular paintings or drawings that are on in the wall. You know, maybe we can do that. I mean, maybe choose one or like, you know, or I think there, yeah. I mean, for example, I know here we have the helmet again.
Yeah, the helmet again. Yes, it's one of the first I made in for the show in Museo Cabañas, and it's important for me say that the format of this work is different for the way I work with usually with the drawing. Usually I work with this free paper, cheap paper, whatever, and draw directly, very raw, very spontaneous. And I changed in the way I work in these drawings because I take the decision to use a frame, a wood frame, and glue the paper on the wood frame, and this operative thing take me more time to do the drawings. It's a different moment, different time. Completely change all the equation to the process to work with the image, and that's very important. The time I take to work each drawing of this series and the color.
Wonderful. Maybe we can
Yeah.
see, maybe we can move a little more to see others. There is one that for me is I mean, all of them are arresting to some degree, but you know, but maybe we can I don't know, see a few more, you know, so we can, you know, they're all like, you know, extremely, you know, the iconography and you know, the iconologies are extremely like, you know, unique. What is, let me ask you this, you know, let's talk a little bit about
This is one of my favorites.
oh, yeah, tell us a little bit about it. Why is one of your favorites? Why?
Because this is Darth Vader, and it's only Darth Vader and the helmet, and the rest is like a piece of corpse. It's like a nothing. It's almost like it's a disintegrator. It's nobody. It's really only the helmet, like a phantom. It's like a wow. It's one of my favorites. This character, born in the beginning of the series, this helmet and this it's like I don't know how you say the wood of the broom, only the wood of the scoba of the broom, like that is like a piece of wood with helmet and the shoe.
That's beautiful. I mean, it's an incredible piece. Let me ask you this, you know, what is the I mean, if I want to, I mean, if I were to ask you about the way it has been displayed, you know, what is the narrative arc that you are trying to, you know, display here and present to us in this particular iteration of this series, you know? I mean, there is, I mean, obviously there is a very clear sense of use of the comic, to some degree. They're like still very broken to some degree in order to see them together. They do not make this, they're like, working separately to some degree. That's one thing. So the narrative arc to some degree is there, but not there. It is kind of display, but I mean, you're playing with that space again once more, in which we try to make something out of it, but feels there, feel there is something there, but it's going in and out to some degree,
Yes.
of our side.
Yes. I think it is the narrative is I don't know how to explain, because it's I feel this when I do the work, when I do these specific projects to show the drawings. I have a idea in my head, the narrative. No, I have a group of specific narratives inside of the drawings. No, in the process to make the drawings, very in the process. And I have a clear idea about what I want to do with this narrative. But also in my mind, I let free the narrative. I say, well, okay, I let go to happen whatever in this narrative. I have this clear vision, the beginning and the end of the series of new drawings, and in the middle I leave the reality cut off the moment, the process of this narrative. No, is the chaos entering in this narrative.
Okay.
And for me, in the big concept of this arch of narrative is like to tell a story, maybe a investigation, maybe try to find this man who should be dead, me, politic, and whatever. It's like to try to find something, this history, personal, and in the context of the way I lived in Guadalajara and Mexico, because it's the country is in the middle of the war with the narcotics and a lot of violence, a lot of problems. And in my mind is coming all these feelings and these ideas, and I just let it go, this float in running in the middle of the process to work with the drawings. No,
and then the arrangement in the space. So tell us, I mean, tell us why. I mean, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
I leave the curator of the people in the gallery take the decision to make this museography. No, you let it go. Just do it and out. Well, they ask me for the decisions. No, but I leave. I don't take all the decisions.
Wonderful. That's beautiful. I mean,
I think in the future, I want to make a catalog or a book of the different moments of the series. And in that moment, I want to put in exactly in the same way I do the idea, the construction of the narrative very strictly, and you can see in that moment all these arch of the narrative, the beginning to the end in that moment. It's like for me, only in this moment is the pleasure to go with this flow of drawings.
Yeah, but maybe sometimes the way in which now there are like plays, they have that non sequitur, sort of feeling, might add something to the mythical, atmosphere that is already creating, because it's not a clear narrative, to some degree. Let me ask you this, we're getting towards the end, so that might be that might be a possibility, that that you let in the space, just move around, and having some sort of like, instead of being a limitation, being an incredible possibility. But let me ask you this, I mean, again, once more, time seems to be so particularly, central to your work, the show has this impetus of sort of revision, of like, I say, un ajuste de cuentas, to tally something, to say, well, you know, and again, one that is never completed. It feels that it's never completed because, you know, you are moving, you're changing, there are different expressions, there are different things. It's somehow in process, you know, the whole thing. And that's, I think, that is almost extremely beautiful way of understanding that, I mean, overcharge or an overarching and continuous process, you know, of this telling of things, you know, a process that is never, a revision that is never completed, you know. Maybe you can tell me a little bit about if that is, I mean, a reading that is more or less accurate to some degree, or if there is, what kind of revision are we confronting in each of this series of El hombre que debía morir?
Well, it's a personal revision, you know, it's something like this is the material, personal material inside of the series of drawings. This contemporary revision of to be a man in the and this cultural and political and economical country, poor like Mexico, with many problems, and you know, and that is only my personal investigation about this. And in the other hand is the possibilities of the narrative, the change the narrative of this, the change of narratives of this official use of the history, no, official use of the language of the way we make this construction of this citizen, this big person, singular person in a country like this.
There is something very, very, very Joycean to some degree, you know. I mean, in the way that, could you please? I mean, maybe. I mean, there is something there, you know, that, you know, there is, again, you're telling a story while it's, I mean, or something, you're making a process. I mean, doing something there, but you're moving at the same time, you know. So maybe there is something to be said about that, about, as you said, that the construction of that, you know, person, that man, you know, that, you know, should have been dead, you know, should be dead. Maybe you can talk a little bit about that Joycean quality, maybe.
Yes, I don't see in this adventure in the like a obscure or doom or no, you know. I see like a great moment to live this experience, to live in this country with all these problems, because we have this opportunity to change the way we see it, us in this context, no, like a person, like a community, no. And for me, go to the past, to the Mexico, is go to the best, and you know, the light, maybe the color, maybe the landscape, maybe whatever. We have many options to open this to broken this condition of to be slaves in our situations in this moment. And for me, that's the important. Go to the past to know what happened in the moment, in this moment, and in the future, the possibilities to change the future. That is important.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Anything else you would like to add, you know, before we open up to questions, you know, I mean, from the public, you know? But I think there's I mean, once more, you know, I'm, you know, mesmerized and, you know, intrigued, but every single one of these pieces, you know, that are like, you know, so uniquely, you know, done and put together as a whole, you know, again, it you know, you get a glance of, like, you know, maybe what is trying to be conveyed, but then also I think there is a really great aspect of, like, not getting to know the whole story, because it's always changing, it's always confronting something. You're always, you know, working in that space.
Yes. Only I want to say only for me, I love the art and the artists. They open the doors to the spectator, to the people to go to see his work. It's open. they don't close the doors. They open and you go directly with the experience to see, to confront the work and let it entry to this door. And for me, I take this like adventure. For me, it's open the doors to my persona, to my work, and let it go to the things happen, and be in control for a few things in your life, and let it go. It's adventure. The life is adventure.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for this, and yeah, you're opening the portal.
The portal.
I said, yeah, I mean, it's, again, once more, these are doors into, something that is going on there.
Yes.
The
I
light-
remember only
go ahead.
last. I remember a phrase. It's not exactly the I wanna say in English, but it says the day is I note a phrase in notebook. They say the death is no door to close. You need go through the door and open. I go inside of this open door. I like the idea the day is no closed door. It's an open door. You go through a new experience. You never know what's happened behind this door open. But that's the idea. Close that, and is the I don't know how to say.
that liminal space of the
Yeah.
cosmos live,
The cosmos, the
the
known,
cosmos and
yeah.
everything else. That's
Yeah.
incredible. Thank you for sharing this with us. I think it's very clear that that we have an incredible show that we can visit and enjoy in New York. But I would like to be conscious of the time and also to open up to questions. I mean, Chloe, how do we go from here?
Yeah, we have several questions.
Yeah.
I would like to first thank you both for that amazing, incredibly generous dialogue about the work, which was a pleasure to listen to.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you both so much. I will pass it to GE, who has the first question, and then from there we have several more.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Chloe. Thank you, Daniel, and thank you, Jose, and of course, Chewy, always Chewy. And happy 1000, everybody. A question is, in the way that your work mirrors between, the microcosm and the macrocosm, are you thinking about mutability and the transitional periods of existence and growth and possibility and potential and what's been and what will be to come?
Wow, it's a great questions. I don't feel like a religious person, but I feel I have faith and I have something in my mind, in my spirit, in connection with the universe, with this unknown space in the on the universe. I grew up in the Ciudad de Mexico and a small town in Oaxaca. My mother was from Oaxaca and my father was from Veracruz in the south of Mexico. And I grew up in the small town in Oaxaca. And in this small town, for me, is the center of my living, my force, my character. And the contact with this piece of earth, for me, is the center of the universe because I feel this connection. And for me, for the question is in connection with this answer is that give me this possibility to go through this unknown space, and the work I do is try to open this door to this experience, to cross this portal, to cross this door, and let it go. What everything happen is okay because it's part of the life. And for me, this is very important. The work you're doing is the process to walking on the life, through the life. Yes.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you for the question. Thank you.
What a great question. And thank you so much for that beautiful answer, Daniel. The next question, well, is more of a comment, but I'm going to read it because I don't know if you were able to see it in the chat, Danielle. Ida Alvarez wrote, "Thank you for sharing your ideas and work. The structures feel to me like an encyclopedic adventure, past, present, and the middle as the door. It's like holding a book, getting ready to read it with great anticipation. Perhaps a quest for history, memory, weaving through an expanded notion of time, which is held together in the middle with imagination."
It's beautiful, beautiful comment. Thank you.
I think the next question is going to be from Eleanor. Eleanor, I'll give you the chance to ask your question.
Yeah, thank you so much, Chloe. Thank you so much, Daniel and Jose. This conversation has been brilliant and so
Thank you, Eleanor. Thank you.
it's such amazing work. And as I've been looking at the work, it really reminds me, and especially the drawings really remind me of cartoons, and they have so much energy and kind of movement in them. And I'm wondering if that's on your mind as you're creating these works, Daniel, and maybe if there's any cartoons or even other media that inspires your work.
Yes, completely. A cartoon is like I grew up in a neighborhood in Mexico City. It's very popular, and was a neighborhood, working class neighborhood. And I grew up with this tradition to buy comics or historietas. My father was he is a man who worked in the factory, and he loved to read sport magazines and comics, historietas in Mexico City. And when I grow up, I have this approach to this kind of histories, the cartoons. And I grew up also with these TV shows in Mexico TV and the cartoons in my time when I was a child, you know, the Bugs Bunny, the Warner Brothers, and whatever. And also when I was to the art school, I discovered more the comics and the cartoons, like alternative cartoons or more in this different, no mainstream cartoons or historietas or comics, more like the Grover Crumb or this kind of comics. And for me, I use a completely different approach to draw the cartoons, or more specific, more traditional way to draw in the modernist or contemporary, whatever. I mix a different approach to draw, and the cartoon is one of these options.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thanks for that question, Eleanor, and thanks for your responses, Daniel.
No, thank you.
The next question's from me, if you'll take a question from me. My questions are, I noticed that in your exhibition at Corre Mansuto, there are areas where you've cut out shapes. And I wonder how you decide what is removed versus what is added. And then my second question I'll ask after.
Yes, I think the decision, because in one hand is for the composition, only for the plastic composition of the constructor. You know, I have these 2 panels, and I have this corner, and I want to change the continued narrative of the 2 panels, and take the decision to have this part of the construction to look at the other side. And that's the reason I cut off this piece of wood in the middle. And very simple things like a hand, a form of the hand cut off in the panel. And because in other works previous I done is I use this kind of figures cut off in wood in other projects I made it before this new work in the gallery in Curimansuto. It was in the composition, and was in because I have this reference to my preview work to work in this way with this material.
Thank you.
Mhm.
And my other question is, when looking at the history of the exhibitions from Siembra to today, there's sort of this increased exploration of space that just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And I'm curious if you would ever take the work outside or draw in public space.
Yes, yes. I think it's a natural way to go with the world outside. I don't have too much experience to work in the public space, but I think it's a good possibility. It's a good direction for the work. Because I love the cartels or the posters of the outside in the streets and the stickers, and that culture is I love it too. It's one of the possibilities. Maybe it's a good experience to do a project in the public space out of the museum or the gallery, or only in the street, or whatever. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Our last question is going to be from Fong. Fong, I'll give you the chance to ask your question.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Jose. Thank you, Danielle. This is
Thank you.
fantastic works, and I can't wait to see it in flash, in person. And yeah, I had a question in regarding to surrealism. You know, I was looking at in and out, and then I couldn't help it but think of the few painter from the region, Latin American for sure, Oscar Dominguez, even though he's French. And then I was thinking of Marta, and in particularly Wilfredo Lam, you know, Danielle. And the reason why I'm thinking about them, because their deployment of surrealist automatism is so specifically inherently to their own cultural heritage, where they came from. You know, it's very free, it's very anarchistic, it had mythical references as much as history. You take Wilfredo Lam, who's half Cuban and half Chinese, and that whole tradition, his own interest, you know, is there. I mean, the whole Afro-Caribbean heritage is there. So I'm wondering, looking at your work, the way that you allow very strong cropping from which different planes is almost going off the edge of the canvas, you know, Jose.
Yeah.
And yet within the anthropomorphic, you know, formation of the images, it hold them together. It's not an easy thing to do. So my question is super simple. The figure, the image come first, or the division of the plane come first? Or can it all coexist simultaneously?
It's a very good question, very nice. Also, when I work in this series of drawings, I look a small catalog from Roberto Mata. He's a beautiful. I love Roberto Mata, and I discover again, because you know, when the process to work is completely unidirectional. It's like a lot of reference. I love the well, whatever. But in one moment I have this again this confront with this catalog of Roberto Mata, and I say, it's a beautiful, it's a extraordinary painter, and in relation with this connection with the pre-Hispanic or mythical heritage of the Roberto Mata's work in a moment in his paintings, no, you know, and for me, it's the same experience because I have this connection with these Aztec myths, pre-Hispanic myths, and the color and the way the codices and the codes and the compositions and that. And this is similar. This is the same experience to let it go. This continue flow of the information, not only information, because not it's information, it's experience with this aesthetic. And put inside of your head and go directly in the moment you work with these drawings or whatever, or the structures, you let it go. This experience is only go in this same direction. And I work with this two different moments. I live this flu like. You know, you say that, I forgot the word in English. It's like
Fluid?
yeah. See, and to put a clear structure, geometrical, very simple, and let it go the chaos inside of that, and work in the same moment, the chaotic and the geometry and the color and the whatever and the composition, but in work in the same time the both options, the both dialogue with that. Yes.
Got it.
Yes.
It all happened the same time, you say?
So yes, all happened in the same time. Yes. In different moments, but all in different, yes, in the same time. Yes.
Well, that's amazing. Well, you know, Roberto Mata was trained as an architect. In fact, he spent nearly 3.5 or 4 years working for Corbusier before meeting André Breton. Yeah, so super strong.
Yes.
So therefore, last question, you have any interest in architecture or not?
Not really in architecture, but I'm more in the connection with the space like a open, like a possibility. I said before, I grew up in the small town in Oaxaca. My mother was from a small town in Oaxaca, and the construction of the houses is very basic, very beautiful. But the important is you have the contact with the nature in the mountains and the sky. No, and you know, and for me that is the experience to the open of the nature, to not be in the house, inside of the house. It's in the open, the space, that connection. Yes.
Isn't that amazing, Jose? You just make a serious confession to all of us.
Exactly.
The mountain.
Not only that, but you know, it's clear. You know what Daniel is saying is that Alejo Carpentier used to say that Latin Americans were like surrealists by nature. You know, so and there is something to be said about that. I mean,
yes, I know.
Right.
I mean, it's incredible. Yeah, no, it's
no,
yes,
but it's instead of you know, adhering to a certain surrealist or cubist space, which can be very claustrophobic and compressed. Jose, what he's just made that remark reference to nature, mountain, whatnot, waiting for Oaxaca, is about expansion, airiness of breathing space, fluidly go through the plane. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You quenched my thirst, so thank you so much.
Thank you for the question. A pleasure. Thank you.
Daniel, excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you, Fong, for that question. Thank you so much, Danielle and Jose, and for this conversation today. And thank you, Danielle, for answering all of our questions during the Q&A. And thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you as well to Julia at Kurimanzuto for all of their support in preparing for today's event. We'd also like to thank, of course, the Terra Foundation for American Art, who sponsor our NSE program and make daily conversations like this one possible. They also support our growing archive, which you can view on the Rails YouTube channel. The Rail has been free and independent for 23 years. A donation directly supports our writers, staff, and operations. You can support our work through the link in the chat. And if you're free tomorrow at 1 p.m., join us for a conversation with Shangru Majumdar and Josephine Halverson. And as is real tradition, you can now turn on your microphones and say hello and goodbye as you leave. Thank you so, so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Happy
Thank
1,000th
you,
episode.
everyone.
Thank you, Jose.
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 Thank you. 1,000.
Thank you.
1,000.
Bye. Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye. Ciao, ciao.
Congratulations, Daniel.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you. Bye.